You know, I used to think that Linux was a bit of a difficult and niche OS that could never hope to compete with the big boys out there. But then I found out it could do this. Well, I'm sold. Welcome to I Tried Switching to Linux for a Month. Hi there, I'm Sam Tucker. And you know, last few times I've tried Linux, I didn't give it a fair go. Because I'd basically just turn all the cameras and lights on and try to get Linux going in one sitting. But you know, Linux doesn't like to be rushed like that. And sometimes Linux needs a little forethought. And maybe you need things like compatible hardware and throw a good distro in there. And you want to push all of its buttons. Well, except for this button. Apparently this one breaks the whole thing and deletes your life. But apart from that, things went well. I've set up this Linux laptop just the way I like it and it works out quite well. So why don't I take you on the little journey? First up, the hardware. We've got the HP EliteBook. A little bit boring, but it's got some fun features like a little privacy webcam slider. That's nice. And if you look on the side, it's got a slot here which looks like it's for a credit card. I'm not sure why Apple hasn't thought of that one yet. Anyway, even though it is quite boring, the important thing is it has an Intel x86 chip in here. So it should be fully compatible with the distro we're going with this time, as popularly recommended in the comments, Fedora. Do I have a Fedora? Of course, named after its creator, Roger Fedora. The installation. Now, one tricky thing with this HP computer is that it came with Windows 11 Pro Bono. No, not Pro Bono, that means free. Bono always charges. Anyway, when I tried to install Fedora, there was an error because it had Secure Boot enabled, which is some security feature to stop people from messing with your machine. Surprisingly though, to turn off Secure Boot, all I had to do was input 4 secret numbers that were right there on the screen. So I don't know how secure that feature really is. Anyway, with that secret code, I was able to get past the HP Protector Wolf. What a weak boy. And when I went through the steps, it was actually quite a simple install. I mean, the screen was the right way around, the trackpad worked, the sound worked. It all went very smoothly. I must have done something wrong. And all the apps I wanted showed up in the software manager here. It had OBS, Obsidian. Heck, someone even had a Steam client thing here where I just clicked download Steam and here it was. And better yet, you can even play the Steam games. Have a look at this. I am an Otto man.
My name is Otto. I love to get blotto.
And look, it's quite smooth. Perhaps we should settle here. Settle. Look at that, I just made Istanbul. What other computer can run Istanbul right out of the box? Yes, well, anyway, as you can see, Linux has been running far too smoothly at the moment. So, I think it's time now for the fun part. Time to break it a little. And I want to make Linux, I want to customize it back to the OS that I had in 2018, the funk OS of my youth-ish. Anyway, before we start messing with the system, maybe we should take a course in coding and everything like that. And thankfully, we can, because of this video's sponsor, Boot.dev, a platform that mixes coding with game mechanics to make learning to code as fun as it can be. Actually, it's pretty addictive, let me show you. So, I started a quest to learn some more about Python 3. And it started me off with some of the simple things like the print command and some formulas. And then it gave me a little assignment to do on the interactive coding part on the side. And when you do it successfully, you get fireworks and you feel like that hacker guy from the show. And what I liked about it is that it gives you just enough information to do the job, but it doesn't nag you and hold your hand like a lot of modern games do. Like at one point, it just said, here's the problem, the issue's on line 3, fix it. And I tell you, when I figured out that that plus sign should be a minus sign, I felt like a man. But then if you need help, it's there for you. Like I got an error in one of my codes, and then the Python interpreter down the bottom, well, he suggested that maybe the problem was that I used a square bracket instead of a circle bracket. What was I thinking? The shape of the bracket does matter in coding. So yes, I did change that. There's also the Bear Wizard, which is an AI you can use to get some hints. And at one point, it offered a tip in the assignment. And I said, please, I don't even want just the tip because I know what's going on here. So you're learning, you're earning XP, you're feeling good about yourself, and all you're really doing is learning about code and doing some technical stuff. They've tricked my brain into thinking that this is fun. So if you want to learn Python, JavaScript, Docker, or a bunch of other stuff, then click the link in the description and use the promo code SAMTIME to get 25% off your full annual subscription and learn how to code the fun way. All right, the first part to making this FunkOS is to change the wallpaper. Let's start off easy. Oh yes, looking sexy there, Sammy boy. Back when I was about 10 kilos younger. Now, the way that we're gonna twist and turn this Linux OS is by using GNOME extensions. Now, of course, gnomes, they love extensions because they're so small, so it helps them to be big. This is what your base Linux desktop looks like in Fedora. You got your taskbar-y thing at the top. You meant to have a dock at the bottom. Can I have my dock? No, I'm not allowed to have my dock. What's up, dock? What's down, dock? My dock is down. Oh, doctor, I'm having trouble getting my dock up.
Under dock, you'll see options to manage its behavior. You can do this by running sudo dnf install.
No, we're not doing terminal. Okay, so apparently the base version of Linux sucks balls. So we're gonna start enabling some GNOME extensions that I've got. I'm activating dash to panel. Now what that does is it turned the Mac-like Windows menu bar at the top and turned it into a Windows-like taskbar thing at the bottom. So it's more familiar with like a Windows thing, but one thing that I used to be able to do in my old FunkOS is wobbly windows. Compiz Windows effect. We turn this baby on and now have a look what happens to our windows. Wow, 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 wow. And that is very necessary for when you're doing highly complex window management productivity tasks. That's not enough. If we turn on Burn My Windows, you can have all sorts of window effects. Let's have a look. Oh, did you see that broken glass? Let's try another one. Ooh, like a little television static there. Oh, little slot machine or something there. Oh, I spat on the screen. I was so excited. Doc, now I'm making ejections. Oh, the doctor's gonna have a weird call after this. We have a thing here called Arc Menu that gives you little access to, common things, your folders and your turn off button, and you can donate. Maybe we should. We are actually getting a bit of fun out of this app. So make sure to support your local developer. I'm going to do that as soon as the camera's off, I swear. And in a lot of videos, whenever I bring up Windows, I say how it has a start button, but it never has a stop button. Well, thanks to this extension, it's now officially a stop menu. To go along the theme of FunkOS, we can make it a nice FunkOS button in the corner now. Perfect. Oh, I should change this photo here. Da-da-da. There we go. And as you can see, that's quite a boring transition, isn't it? It's just sliding across to my other desktops. If only we could make desktop switching somehow more cubular. Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you believe that yes, desktop to cube is an actual GNOME extension? The cube of love. How do Linux people get any work done when they can just go? Cool. I just realized now I didn't talk about any of the apps. So just quickly, I use only Office for my Office suite because it looks just like Microsoft Word and basically works the same. Obsidian, my note-taking app of choice. It's not open source, but it looks cool. I use Local Send to wirelessly send things from the Linux machine to an iPhone or to a Mac. It's meant to seamlessly do it, but it's not always so seamless. I'll be honest, I haven't tried video editing on this computer because it doesn't have a dedicated graphics card. And if you have graphics cards, maybe that adds an extra dilemma with Linux, I don't know. And what I absolutely love how there's like no ads for frickin' Windows 365, yada, 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 that Windows just shoves down your throat. Yes! I love how there's no AI. No, see, I'm hitting Copilot, no Copilot shows up. And surprisingly, the software app, whatever Fedora uses here, just seemed to have everything I wanted. And it was just a one-click install, and it was actually very easy. I didn't have to deal with any repositories. Things I hated. Now, no Linux experience is perfect. In fact, one of the only things in life trickier than Linux is installing a printer. And I actually had to install my printer 3 times before it would show up. Another thing I'm not a huge fan of is that the scroll is very fast on this one, and there's no inbuilt GNOME setting to slow down the scroll speed. For some reason, the Linux gods in all their knowledge and know-how have decided that Control-V doesn't work in terminal. You have to hit Control-Shift-V, which is different from every other Control-V that exists, and apparently backspace did a question mark. And that has been my Linux experience. I legitimately use this as just my second computer. When I'm sipping my coffee, I'm checking out the news, I'm writing some scripts and stuff. Sometimes I need to restart it because the sound or something, maybe every now and then it stops working, but for the most part, it does work. So there you go. I hope you're happy. You Linux people, you're all like, oh, give it another chance. Well, there it is. What version of Linux do you use? Is it Mint? Is it Arch? Or is it, Funk OS? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, stay funky, everyone. SAMTIME signing off.
Subscribe today.
My password. I broke it. Linux. All right, I've locked myself out of my own computer right at the start of the video. Oh. Now I've got a mystery window that's open, not responding while I told it to quit. Yes, that's right. Would you believe it? I am only 35 years old. You would believe it.